Yeah, so my name's Will Hitchmough. I'm the managing director and founder of Wildcat Digital. Cheers for that. It'd be a bit boring otherwise, wouldn't it? We help startups and local businesses punch above their weight. So in SEO, we're facing a battle. It's an intense battle, and it's a battle against preconceptions. The first preconception is that SEO is a rip-off. It's a con. And, that's partly justified when you've got people on Fiverr offering SEO success for $100. But hopefully everyone in this room knows that, success can be achieved in SEO, and it is a real thing. The other preconception is that there's no point doing SEO unless you've got massive budgets. And it's true that SEO, it does take time, and time costs money, but ultimately, you can still achieve success with limited money. And the other battle that we're facing is a battle against unrealistic expectations. People want to know why we're not ranking number one yet. Why are we not getting any organic traffic? We've only been doing the campaign 2 weeks. Why are we not seeing any success? Unrealistic expectations can derail any SEO campaign early on. Today we're going to basically give you 3 golden rules for overcoming that battle and achieving success. But what does success look like? Well, success in SEO is basically on a timeline. So let me move over here. So in 3 to 6 months, you basically want to see keyword improvements, and you want to see positive changes happening on your website. Now, those changes eventually, they're going to lead to more traffic and improvements, and basically more organic leads. But ranking number one, that's essentially like a long-term vision. That's something that's not going to happen overnight. So today we're going to focus on those first 2 things, which is how do we achieve success, how do we achieve things in that first 3 to 6 months, in that first year. So let's get into the rules then. Rule number 1, build on what you have and identify the quick wins. So this relates to keyword strategy. And effectively, it's more effective to improve performance for keywords that you're already ranking for than it is to target new ones. Why? Well, for a start, if you're already ranking for keywords, then Google might already see you as an authority in that industry. It already knows that you're ranking for those, it already knows that you occupy that industry. That's why it's ranking you there. Another reason is that, the traffic gains are far greater when you get, higher up. So it's far more effective to improve from the second page to mid-first page than it is to rank from 100th and move up to 20th, for example. Those keywords are lower competition, and ultimately it's just easier. The architecture's already there, the pages are already there that are ranking, and Google's already picking those keywords up. So how do we identify this then? Well, there's a number of tools that you can use. Probably the best tool for this is actually a free one, and it's called Google Search Console. If you've not got that installed on your website, I recommend that you do. And essentially what you can do on Google Search Console is you can see the queries that are already, gaining traffic. You can see what users are searching for and what they're clicking on. So you can use those, obviously, to guide your keyword strategy. You can also look at the pages that are ranking. So those pages, they're already getting traffic. So if you optimize those pages, then ultimately you're going to start seeing, improvements. If you've not optimized those pages yet and they're already ranking, imagine what you can achieve by optimizing them. And so just make sure you optimize keywords that are relevant. Because, if you've not done any SEO, it's likely that you're ranking for a load of keywords that are irrelevant. That's just how Google works. So only optimize the keywords that are relevant for your business. But what about if you're not ranking for any keywords yet? So if you've just built the website, or your website's absolutely terrible and it's not ranking for any keywords, then you need to know what to do. And this is where it comes to identifying the quick wins. So how do we identify the quick wins then? So when it comes to quick wins, it's about reducing the competition and making the keywords more relevant for your business. And there's a couple of things that we can do to achieve that. One of the first is by optimizing for location, so we can choose local keywords. As you can see, so for example, this keyword here, which is obviously relevant to our business, if we target the generic keyword, which is SEO agency, that's got a high keyword difficulty. If we target SEO agency Sheffield, we're reducing the competition, we're making it more relevant to our business, and it's going to be easier to achieve that. If we're an e-commerce business, or maybe we're another service business, we can target niche services. So we can basically make the searches more relevant, make them more niche. So like in e-commerce, for example, if we look at like a keyword which is wicker baskets, that's got a high keyword difficulty. It's going to be hard to achieve that if you're a new website, whereas if we make it more specific, make that keyword a little bit more long tail, wicker baskets with handles, it then becomes easy to achieve. And if you target enough of those, specific keywords, eventually the volumes are going to add up and it's going to be far easier to achieve success. And that applies to services keywords as well. Obviously the keyword on the left, that's a long-term keyword. That's what we want to optimize for in the future, but we can target the quick win, which is a lot more specific. And yeah, it's worth remembering that it's better to rank for low volume keywords than it is to rank for no keywords at all. So identify the quick wins, and ranking for low volume keywords is going to deliver some traffic. So that's, you can use a tool called SEMrush or Ahrefs to find those keywords. And basically, you're looking at the keyword difficulty metric on the right. That'll help you, but you can also use your own intuition and try and narrow that audience and make it more specific. So that's rule number one then. Build on what you have and identify the quick wins. So rule number two, control the controllables. So this is a bit of a philosophy for life, to be fair. So this is from a book called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, written by this creepy-looking bloke called Stephen Covey, who, God rest his soul. So it's basically a philosophy called circles of control, influence, and concern. And it can also be applied to anything. Like I say, it can be applied to life, but it's applied in elite sports. So, elite athletes will control the controllables to the max. And ultimately, the medals and the trophies will take care of themselves if on the day they're lucky. And we can apply it to SEO as well. So if we control the controllables, eventually the rankings will take care of themselves, to a certain degree anyway. So yeah, there's basically 3 circles: circle of control, circle of influence, and circle of concern. So the circle of concern, this is basically things that impact you, but which you've got no control over. So if we look at SEO, it's things like algorithm updates. When we're talking about digital PR, it's the news agenda. RIP to any digital PRs this week. Product stock levels, or seasonal trends. As my mum would say, don't waste time worrying about the things which you've got no control over. You're only going to lose sleep. Then you come to the circle of influence, and this is basically anything that you can influence, but which is ultimately out of your full control. Now, these factors are going to take a lot of energy. Ultimately, they can still end in failure. And when we talk about SEO campaigns, and certainly SEO campaigns when we've got limited time or budget, there should never be a focus early on in a campaign. And that, if we look at sort of examples, that's things like PR campaigns, keyword rankings, outreach strategy. or technical fixes which you can't do yourself, which maybe require a developer if you don't have a developer. That's a good point to say that, you know, these factors are different for every website. Every case is different. You know, you're going to have different factors that are in your control. So you should, you know, draw your own circle of influence if you're sad and boring like me. So yeah, let's look at the circle of control then. So this is basically, as it says, anything that's in your full control. And in the early part of the campaign, this is where you should spend your time optimizing things. So that's things like landing page strategy, keyword strategy, website content, header tags and title tags, or technical fixes that you can do yourself. And if you spend your time optimizing these aspects that you've got full control over, that's where you're going to see the maximum return early in the campaign. So yeah, that's rule number 2 then, control the controllables. Rule number 3. So you need to structure your SEO campaigns to drive revenue and leads. So the purpose of SEO is to make more money online. That's why, you know, that's why we do it, and that's why you should be doing it. Effectively, the way you do that is by focusing on the commercial pages first. And again, this is different for every business. So, you know, if you're a publisher, you know, the way you make money is by driving ad revenue. So obviously in that instance, you want to focus on driving as much traffic to the site. But, you know, in this instance, we're looking at service industries and e-commerce industries. And, you know, these are the main pages that we want to focus on. So, you know, if we look at those commercial pages, your home page is obviously an important commercial page. And this is often the ranking URL for generic keywords. So it's important that it's got plenty of content on there. You need to make sure that your generic keywords are included. If you're a local business, you need to include information about your location on that home page. You need to include technical features like schema markup, which is going to help Google. If we look at your services pages then, so these are the pages, obviously, if you're a service business, that are going to get the phone ringing. We need to include keywords in your headers. You need to make sure that it answers the common queries relating to your service. You need to compare these to competitors. So, you know, if you look at your competitor's website, and that website is better than yours, or that landing page is better than yours, you need to optimize your website so it's better than theirs. If you want to rank above them, it needs to be better than them. And yeah, if people land on that page, do they know how to contact you? And then category pages. So if we're talking about e-commerce, these are basically the target pages for people that are typing, you know, for your products. They're looking for things related to your products that you're offering. So we need to make sure that you're targeting, you know, a wide range of keywords related to all your products. You know, don't just have one category page that's targeting everything. Is the content on those pages? Is that content unique? You need to optimize the title tags and the H1s again. And you need to ensure that Google and the user can find the important categories on your website. And then finally, the product pages. Now, these are a lot more sort of specific. These are going to target basically high-intent searches. So you need to make sure that the product descriptions are unique. So with product descriptions, a lot of the time, people just template stuff that's provided by the manufacturer. It's important that you make them unique to your business. You need to make sure that you address any doubts that your customer might have. And again, compare it to competitors, and how does it stack up? Anything else that's not a commercial page, that should wait. You should leave that until later on in the campaign, because ultimately it's not going to drive revenue in that early part. So blogs, you know, that's about building domain authority. It's about showing Google you're active, but it's not going to achieve results early in the campaign. So to recap then, 3 rules. Build on what you have and identify the quick wins. Control the controllables, and structure your SEO campaigns to drive revenue and leads. And if you'll allow me, I've just got some more final SEO wisdom to help you achieve SEO success at speed. So it's important, you know, if you are trying to achieve results early, that you don't get caught up on the small stuff. You know, if you've got a if you're trying to get to number one, or you've just got a new website, if you're fixating on every small little detail, you're never going to achieve things on the bigger picture or the bigger roadmap. And don't let impatience derail that early progress. So, this is impatience to get to number one. This could come from, other people, other than yourself. They want you to get to number one. Why are we not at number one? It has only been 3 months. It's important that you're drawing back to the biggest picture. So have that bigger picture in mind and make sure that people know what that bigger picture is. It's not a 3-month strategy or a 6-month strategy. It's a long-term strategy. And you need to stick to the plan. And other things like user experience, for example, in that early part of the campaign, when you're trying to achieve success on a small budget, it doesn't matter if you've not got any users. So don't waste time worrying about it in that early part of the campaign. Tone of voice, when it comes to content, doesn't mean anything if no one's going to read your content. So don't waste time over-analysing things. And essentially, that's how you're going to achieve success with limited time and budget. So yeah, I've been Will Hitchmough. As I say, find me on LinkedIn. If you've got any questions, fire away.